Who's ready for a blast from the past? Let's get things going with our weekly modern action. I'm, of course, NanMan, bringing you guys all the coverage over here at NanMan's Nerd Corner. And we've got a blast from the past. Like I said, it's 5-colored humans versus Simic Infect. I'm very interested and very excited to see how this goes. It's been a long time since we've seen humans. It's popped up every so often. Like there's a Boros list that some players run. This one is more of the like 4 or 5 color list. And a turn 1 Aether Vial is pretty solid. Now, how quickly will the infect damage go? We'll see a 2 damage coming across. Any other pumps? No pumps. All right. 2 damage already. So we got a dice indicating things here. So creature-based combo deck with Infect, you're trying to just count to 10 as quickly as possible, where the 5-color human is all about setting up and doing some shenanigans here. So, ooh, okay. Meddling Mage going to get played here, and we're going to go with Might of Old Crow. So very solid pick for Pump Spell to be able to go for. That's the one that gives +2/+2 at instant speed, or if you cast it, in your main phase, basically at sorcery speed, it gets +4. But scale up! Sorry, just kidding. Scale up. Float a blue. So he's now a 6/4 infected worm. 6, 7, 8. Blue for Distortion Strike, rebounded, +1/+0, unblockable, and A on top of that. But let's just kind of quickly just go speed mode here, everybody. 1 minute long game? I don't know. It took longer to shuffle up and get ready to play than it did to get through that. Sometimes it happens, right? Turn 3 wins? I don't know. So, like, if you're an Infect player, you see those moments, and you're like living for that, right? Oh, it's so good here. So we get to see a little bit of the options for players as they're deciding and debating about what to bring in. I have 0 cards in sideboard. Oh yeah, this is testing out the Blighted Agent sideboard. I refuse to take them out of main board. I think that maybe taking some elves, shaving some elves for a couple of the Tifas, but we'll see. We'll see. We're still doing some tweaking and testing for it. Of course, this player here is piloting and borrowing my Infect deck. You can tell from all the millions of signatures. We're so close to the fully signed main deck. So close. We're interrupting our gameplay to let you know about our new affiliate with Nerdgear. Nerdgear.gg/NanMan will take you directly to the website, and as you can see, they've got a bunch of awesome gaming accessories from playmats, life counters with the life tracks, playmat holders, and more. So make sure you do some browsing on the site, find some goodies, and then use the code NGNanMan for 5% off your entire order. But let's get back to our gameplay. So how many people watching were playing during the 2015 to 2018 era? Basically when these decks were much more popular, much more prevalent, and actually like effective powerhouses in the meta. I am old school. You could even see some of the gameplay we have, or at least some of the vlog stuff of us competing in tournaments during that time period and seeing how that went. So yeah, I definitely had a blast being able to compete with these decks. Had the humans deck for the longest time. I was like, you know what? Let's just put it back together. It's pretty much close to what it was before. Some differences and changes from the list from then, like, of course, Venerated Rot Priest for our Simic player here. We also have some cards, testing out some of the, like, airbending stuff in there because Aang is a human, but also doing some of, like, Esper Sentinels and things like that didn't exist back in the 5-color human list, but another Meddling Mage. What are we going to call? And Distortion Strike this time. I like it. We're going to say, nope, we're not doing it. After that last game, we're not going to let it happen. All right, so Venerated Rot Priest is also a way to close out the game. I mean, sending in into 1/2 here does regular damage, but also, okay, 2 life. So every time we target it with a spell, it does put a poison counter on your opponent. So that basically pumps up to 2, and they'll take 3 damage. So 17 to 16. Not too bad. I like the not blocking there. Because you're like, I only am taking 1. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Really, it turned into 2. But like that first 1 or 2 damage is really important with the infect deck, because it's very easy to get to 8 or 9 infect damage, and you just need that last little bit to push you over the edge, where Venerated Rot Priest comes in. I'm testing out a 2 of Green Sun Zenith specifically for those moments where it's like, okay, you've killed all my infect creatures. I'm going to try to resolve a Green Sun Zenith, get a Rot Priest, and just spam spells on it that I basically held in my hand that I wasn't able to use, and just try to finish the game off. But Ranger Captain of Eos, another new card in here. We will be getting, Guide of Souls is the other one. So a little bit of shenanigans added in here. Also, stopping your opponent from being able to cast spells can be very relevant with the Ranger Captain. All right. Yeah, Venerated Rot Priest, as you can see, is that and Green Sun Zenith are the 2 cards. So I guess 6 cards total from my main deck that are not signed. And you know I run 61 cards, so. All right, doing the blocking here. Let's see. Groundswell, landfall trigger, so it gives +4. Triggers. Trying to keep the Rot Priest alive. It is a 5/6 right now against the 3/4 Ranger Captain. Stack it in response. Now you can't cast any more non-creature spells. All right, what can we get? I mean, do we get an Ang here? Or we have Meddling Mage. What's the other one that bounces the creatures? Reflector Mage. That's the one. All right. Guide of Souls. Do we have any other follow-ups? I mean, we do have the Aether Vial right on time here. Thalia's Lieutenant will help put some counters. Fetch and Response. What do we grab in here? Surveil Land? There is a Singleton Surveil Land in the deck. There it is. Surveil Land. We were able to get that signed when we were in Vegas last year. Sadly, we're not making it to Vegas this year. The timing of it does not line up with the end of the school year. And being a teacher, it is kind of all-consuming at that time of year. But we are going to be making it to Commander Sealed in the fall. We are going to be making it to MagicCon Atlanta. So you can check us traveling and doing some adventuring in the fall for sure. All right, that is our energy token there, the little Quiver case divider. Of course, Quiver, one of my favorite Magic accessories. If you're not familiar with them, we store basically all of our cards in there. We've got cubes in them. We've got, our Riftbound bundles that we've got here, our battle box that we've got of Riftbound starter decks. So a lot of fun stuff set up there with Quivers. All right. I like this. We've basically set up a wall. We know that we have to answer the Inkmoth Nexus. Like, that's the scary part. Can we do it? We need to get enough energy to give something flying, though. But the problem is we basically need to give something flying and then survive another turn after that. Okay, popping this to draw a card. Ooh, actually, speaking of flying, there is a creature in here. All right, Mantis Rider, the old school fans. Flying Vigilance Haste, 3/3. Remember how, like, crazy that was with humans back in the day? Of like, oh my gosh, do you see this 3/3 that can attack and block, and it's got haste? Oh, it's so good. And now we're like, yeah, but power creep. All right, so here is the slight mistake here, because we the thought was, bringing in the Sun Cleansers, assuming that we can remove counters. Or basically say target opponent or loses all counters. Basically, we thought that it would say, oh, I lose my counters and can't get any more counters, can't get any more counters. It is not Malira. It is not preventing us from getting poison counters. So that was the kicking ourselves over that sideboard inclusion there. There's not as much Boros energy that runs around, but with the off chance of something like that, that is good. So we switch it up. Thalia's Lieutenant Numero Dos coming out here. So we will buff the whole team. Additional counters. Gain another life. Go to 18. Get another energy. Bring the team. big hits. I mean, this also is showing, like, this is turn 4 with how wide the deck can go. You're just like, hey, there's the energy. So we'll block this, no problem. Take 6, drop to 9. Yeah, very, very aggressive style of play. But it is basically just like a tap-out deck with creatures, right? It does have some fragility in a world of, like, Wrath of Skies and stuff like that. Hey, here's a Might. So that's 5 right now. Do we got another pump? We need just a mutagenic or something here. There it is. Mutagenic +2 for the 10 damage total infect. Ooh, it's a fast game. That, you know, it happens. Infect does have the explosiveness to it, and why I love the deck so much of just sort of like the oops, I win type elements, but it's also fun to be able to show off old school decks like 5-color humans. Like, it's a nice little old school battle that we get to have on the channel with players, you know, rotating around and playing different decks every week. But hope you guys enjoyed this fast-paced one for you guys. Of course, go back, check some of our previous videos if you want to see some of our longer-form content. We've got some that are like 50-minute longs, very grindy matchups there. But we will have plenty more action for you every Monday and Thursday, as well as the sprinkling of content on Saturdays. But that's going to do it for us here today. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching, y'all. I'll see you all next game.